Hey there! Welcome back to this special edition of Endless Horizons as we head into Mitchell, Indiana for our cave reading in the Spring Mill State Park with the Natural Poets Society. That's right, we're taking this tour underground and bringing you along for the ride. Now, filming in such a location presented special challenges for us. Much of the footage is dark and grainy and a bit fragmented too. So we're going to bring you this story raw, showing you what we were able to piece together of this amazing side adventure as we go into the wilderness and discover some of the wonders this world has to offer, while sharing some poetry and maybe even a ghost story or two. Now sit back and enjoy as we head into the woods.
Heading towards Bloomington. We're doing Indiana. We're doing a reading at this state park cave. You can camp out. DM me if you're interested. I'll shoot you a message and let you know how we're doing it.
Hey there, so welcome back. We're traveling through Indiana right now, heading into Mitchell, Indiana and the Spring Mill State Park for a reading in the caves there. We're going to be doing some cave exploring and having a poetry reading. We welcome by the poet Tyler Frederick, who's leading the expedition for us. So stay tuned because this is going to be really exciting. Today we're heading into Spring Mill State Park in Mitchell, Indiana to go cave diving and read poetry with Tyler Frederick and the Natural Poets Society. But first, while we're here, I've got a little surprise for you. We're going to take a boat tour into the cave and learn a little history about the place where we're going to be reading tonight. So stay tuned, that's coming right up.
I think it's a limestone cave. Limestone is a porous stone. It's also a basic mineral. Limestone caves are formed when rainwater trickles through the leaf litter and the soil on the surface. It picks up a small amount of acidity. The slightly acidic water then trickles through the porous stone, which slowly erodes it away over the course of many, many years into the passageways and rooms that we will be going through. Rooms like here on the left. This room is known as Moonshine Hollow. It's called that because during the 1920s through the early 30s, during the federal prohibition of alcohol, moonshiners would make their way into the cave and set up their stills to avoid the prying eyes of local law enforcement. If you look up here to the top of the cave, you'll see this groove where my head seems to fit very nicely. This is actually where the cave began many, many years ago, slowly eroding out and down into this large cavern. There's a cave salamander right over there.
I can't see him. Oh, there he is. Cave salamander.
Cave temperature is about 54 degrees year round.
Oh, wow.
Early peoples used these caves as a makeshift refrigerator to store their perishables. Water temperature stays about 57 degrees. This water never freezes, which is why the villagers built the mill where they did. Since it's adjacent to a cave with flowing water, they have running water to power the mill year-round. You see little passageways to the right and to the left as we go through. All of these passageways have been mapped, either by physical exploration or by sonar.
peaceful.
We're starting to get into some formations here. We've got some stalactite soda straws, beginnings of some cave curtains, some larger cave curtains, and some more stalactite soda straws. As you can see, these are still growing, as indicated by the droplets of water. There's your crawfish over there in the water.
Fish in the water.
Each one of these droplets contains small amounts of calcite. Calcite basically just being the eroded stone. Slowly over time, with each drip, these calcites are deposited, which grows features like stalactites, stalagmites, and flowstone to the tune of about 1 cubic centimeter per century.
Oh, wow.
Water's about 4 to 6 feet deep throughout the cave, with the exception of a couple rooms, this being one of them. The water in this room is right around 14 feet, one of the deepest ones in the cave. To the right, we've got a sediment room. Sediment rooms are created when part of the cave collapses, creating sinkholes on the surface, depositing surface sediment into the cave. While this looks like stone, it is in fact a mixture of mud, sand, and clay. These are processes that take millions of years, so we're not too concerned about collapse today. Right here on the right is the one place where we do allow yellow touch. As you can see, the stone is quite a bit smoother in this area. This is because the oils in our skin effectively block the porousness of the stone. This causes this cave to stop growing. It also causes features like these stalactites.
Oh, wow.
And behind it is a large cave curtain that we call the cave basin. There's some flowstone back there in the corner. Up here, we're coming into our main formation room. If you look up here, we'll see a lot of stalactites, cave curtains, and flowstone. The drips from the ceiling are affectionately known as cave kisses, and they're supposed to be good luck. If that's the case, I should buy lottery tickets because I get it all the time. Here on the left is a feature we call alligator rock. This feature is caused by the process of breakdown. These generally happen during earthquakes, so we're not too worried today. That's where sections of the ceiling become dislodged and fall to the floor. Here in this little hole, you'll notice what appear to be sticks. Well, some of these are indeed sticks. Others are roots from the trees that are 55 feet above us on the surface. Moving into our turnaround room. We call that for a fairly obvious reason when we turn around here. The cave goes on about another mile and a half.
Don't show them like eyes. Don't show them your eyes.
This is a non-profit organization that buys up caves and studies protecting endangered species like the cavefish and the delicate environments. I mean, pretty sure.
Troglodytes, man. I had a tour yesterday. I heard a conversation with troglodytes that live in from there, we would have to get out of the boat and crawl out of the sinkhole, which is a 55-foot steep muddy climb that I don't really want to do today. So we're going to stay over here. Also, in this direction, about another 200 feet, we would reach the property line. The other side is owned by a nonprofit organization called the Indiana Park Conservancy. They go throughout Indiana and purchase land and cave occupied to preserve them as well as the wildlife within. And a few more formations as well. Alright, so are we doing our little game, Keith? Oh, yeah. You want to explain the rules? You want to explain the rules of the game?
So, what we like to do here, we like to have a little bit of fun with the absolute darkness of this part of the cave. Because once you get so far into the cave, there's no light at all. So what we do is we shut off the lights, and then the first person, it's like playing chicken. We're not going to turn the lights.
Well, look at all these beautiful slackers over here. How you guys doing? Ah, fantastic. Good to see you. Let me park and we'll get down to business. Well, when I was in Louisville for the Insomniacathon, yeah, that's where we all met, and I met Tyler there, and I saw that he was doing these cave readings, and he said, oh, when you come to Indiana, we have to do a reading in the caves. So this became one of the goals for me for this tour, is to bring us all out here on like this nature excursion into a cave to do a poetry reading in the cave. Why not?
Mammoth Cave actually has, or last year, I wasn't able to get in it because I waited too late, but they actually have a poetry reading event. And they also had a little orchestra playing there.
Where is this?
Mammoth Cave.
Mammoth Cave, is that in Kentucky?
Yeah,
Ah,
it's in,
okay. Because I know there's...
It's about an hour outside of Louisville.
Aha. Well, that's something that...
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I would love to do something like that because, you know, poetry, art, and nature. Look at this. It's so beautiful. I did not realize that Indiana was so beautiful. I thought it was flat and farmland, but now you have all this nature here. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's like hill country, and you know, like I live out in the middle of a valley, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful state. You get all seasons right on time, and it's about 3 hours from just about anywhere. 3 hours from Chicago, 3 hours from St. Louis. You know, you want the city life, you go it.
Feel that cool air?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's literally a breath of fresh air, you know, and this is great because we're going into the caves over here to read poetry. It's like the most unexpected place for a poetry reading, but look at what we get to take in on the way to the cave. This is wonderful. Oh, there you are. So when did you start doing this cave readings and exploring and all this?
Cave exploring, I started from, well, really whenever I was a little kid, but started doing it like more hardcore probably about 3 years ago, and then cave poetry stuff really just started last year.
Fantastic. And you got to watch your step in here because it's kind of moist and slippery.
Yeah, it is. That rain that we got definitely made it muddier than it was whenever I came here a couple weeks ago.
Now, are these natural caves here?
Yes.
Oh, really?
And if you look at the ceiling, it looks like diamonds on the ceiling, but that's actually just water condensation up there.
Huh. Wow. I see the other guys already exploring down there.
Well, watch your step. It is muddy and slippery over here. Oh.
Very slick right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a good path. No.
Who's in my tunnel? My tunnel. How wet is it? It's wet. See, this is not good. Yeah, it's like real serious down.
Oh yes, good luck to you. It's not very difficult to watch your day.
Hey, guys. So what do you think of this?
This is like up too. This is hilarious. I hope the rocks like my poem.
I just pissed. I'm not sure you got it on camera, but you know.
Hey, no, but where are we now?
Come on, stand up.
We're
I guess we'll get this going then, everybody. Welcome to Cave Poetry. So the way I like to do this is really just like a round robin situation. I want everybody to get a chance to read. We don't have to leave any particular time. I don't care what you read. True enough, but like, you know, if we get kicked out, are we really planning on coming back anyway? Maybe. I'm gonna let Frog start us off here.
Yeah.
To be read at the opening of Dead Poets Society meetings, Dead Poets Society, Ohio Valley Chapter. I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discovered that I had not lived. I did not wish to live what was not life. Living is so dear. Nor did I wish to practice resignation unless it was quite necessary. I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life, to live so sturdily and Spartan-like as to put to rout all that was not life, to cut a broad swath and shave clothes, to drive life into a corner and reduce it to its lowest terms. Henry David Thoreau, Walden, or Life in the Woods. Welcome.
The last time we did this, we got like twice as many people this time, so very cool. And it's cool that, you know, so much of us were down in New Orleans and now we're up here and you know, just living the dream, you know. I'm gonna do a poem, the very first poem I ever performed in front of anybody. At Bloomington Poetry Slam. It's called Floodwaters. I took some shortcuts in the long race, the call of the dark, the stars, the way that they fade into the night, through the next day. So until you're the next day away, my darling, I can hear the snarling, I can hear the growl, the slither and the slur. I think they found us out. I guess they don't know. We're fighters now. Tuss it out, sleep it off. I'll see you in the sunlight. You can say your lines, or get the improv on an open mic. I've shaken the realization to hush the sounds. Waiting in the wings, just floating around. I think they found us out. It was blinding, and I blinked on through it. You could feel the music before you heard the sound of vibration. I swear I had you climax into the sound of my breath before you could feel it in your ears, and I was tracing your tears, swearing I never hurt you. But but I think we both know what it means to be walking out past curfew with breath in our jeans. We were brought up to keep our appearances. It never did quite explain what that means, splitting at the seams. Our grandmothers were seamstresses for a reason. You ever been so fucking far gone? You forgot what God you believe in? I got you again. I can see my own reflection. I'm a reasonable man. I do unreasonable things. My coping mechanisms, small incisions. I sort them up at the seams. Now, I wear my scars like the rings on a pimp. I'm gonna cut you down, just to count them. It's been a few years of drought, and I've been waiting on the floodwaters so I can drown or I can wait them out.
I happen to have 2 poems about caves in my second book, What is Beauty? The first is called Lala Voicers. For a brief introduction, there is a language theory called the Lala theory, which says that language first came from the sounds of either lovemaking or anger. And I fixated on that thought of how beautiful that is and who were the first 2 people to communicate with each other through voice. Lala Voicers. What was the first word ever spoken? Did it resound on cold, dark cave walls? Was recognition between 2 humans an aha moment beyond pointing grunts? Did movements of love become raw word? Was quest for speech pursued like quest for fire? Words sheltered like treasures between thick lips. Motivation too great to hold back. Somewhere someone burst articulation. Symbols drawn aside before speech was birthed. One day, one moment, a loud voice came. Magical math from red gods and their muse, from rock cave to mouth, then on to pyramid walls. Sacred nourishment needed sacred space. Words, the food to build our connection. Emoting levels faster than hands, outside the walls of grunted meaning. Was it mama, or dada, or fire, or me? Was it said with love, or maybe anger? All these thousands of years they waited, thousands of ways from millions of voices into minds that bathed them like breath itself.
Of smoke that slithers from a tinfoil boat and finds its home in the chasm of where my soul once lived, but has gone on vacation, has tore off for Raleigh Airport. I may never see him again. Hope I never see your red-lit, sinister streets, the shadows panhandling outside of the supermarket, the damned rotting at the motel. From the rearview mirror, I watch my neighbor fight an invisible foe. By the time he calls for help, you're on an interstate highway. And the only way to look is ahead. Thank you.
I was having a real rough way to go about 2 months ago. I wrote this. Them voices. I tried talking to myself. They say 10 different voices in one head means schizophrenia, or however you spell it. The voices say, my spelling is fine. Them voices, they're something. At least they make me smile sometimes. This life, it's beating me down to the point of thoughts that we don't talk about. Do you think them too? A question that's forbidden. How many of us just want to leave, exit, stage door left, get straight?
This one I wrote in New Orleans after me and Duck Ball were walking around the cemetery, trying to get in, but it was all locked up. It's called Stop Rust. Broken glass tossed in fake grass makes for an okay seat when you're wearing jeans and have a little faith. But if I were you, I wouldn't trust the luck of a penny in a place with rotten chicken lying in the street. When you don't know voodoo, you do need to look out for what might be cursed. Flesh, bone, metal, and busted concrete, looking like an easy mark. They won't bury you in the dirt here. I keep my sigil hidden from sight. My protection guides me forward, though I've backtracked in cycles, taking back roads to avoid toll bridges and forcing myself to sleep. Even though I know when I wake up, I'll be craving the same things I went to bed yearning for. No matter how far I travel, I never seem to be any farther from what I seek to escape. No balcony, just a cage on the window. So you can't really jump unless you really want to get low. When you come to a city built under the sea level, getting high is simple practice. All you have to do is take the elevator. Just make sure to return the key card once you seek higher ground for good, because, listen, buddy, you aren't the only one seeking elevation in this town. And not everyone is so lucky as to have a savior on speed dial.
Last time I got drunk was 19 years ago. Today, so in honor of that, I wanted to read this poem. 2 years ago, I was in Las Vegas, and I was walking around a neighborhood I shouldn't have been at 2 in the morning. And I found one of those Catholic grottos that have all the red candles, you know, that are 24 hours, like outside the Catholic Church. And I just got this crazy idea. And I started lighting every candle. I lit every candle. And every time I lit a candle, I was like another prayer. And then when I got back to my hotel room on the Strip, I wrote this poem. This is about everybody I prayed for that night. It's called Absolution at 2 a.m. This one's for the man squatting outside a 2 a.m. Denny's restaurant, taking his last drink for the 1,000th time. For the lady that caused a traffic jam in East Las Vegas one day, stripping her clothes off, pole dancing on a tired streetlight to music no one else ever heard. This one's for the guy that's always in the same gray sweatsuit, picking through the cigarette sand traps outside your local gas station for half-smoked hope and tobacco. For the queer teen that's packing their bags to escape a blood family that's never felt like home. And for the queer kids that see no way out but to leave their bags unpacked, hidden in closets they never get to open. Or worse, the closets that only get opened once and can never be closed again in our still living hearts. This one's for Austin, one for Andy, for Misty, Spencer, Jeff, Rich and Cody, and one for Jake. All of them gone, but we know scars and burned out stars can never really be forgotten. This one's for our friends pushing caravan shopping carts down busted boulevards, looking for a soft bed on sidewalk concrete, looking for another second chance, looking for another second chance, looking for just one more goddamn second chance. I stand cradling my unbelief in front of another church with an open door policy and a closed mind. Saint someone from somewhere looks down on me, but never makes eye contact as my eyes light 100 red candles and my heart puts a $100 bill in a prayer box. Saint someone's face glows and splats with 100 tiny fires as I light another one for the no-legged man that panhandles Door Street in Toledo. Light another one for the union brother that hanged himself at the beginning of his work shift in the factory. Light another one for my children's health, one for yours, one for the stray cat on Ashland Avenue back home that's missing half a tail but makes up for it with back alley purrs and whisper smiles. One for the fry cook making midnight steak and eggs to pay the rent and child support. The waitress with the fake blonde hair and big smile that's hoping tips cover the bus fare. The man with 2 felonies mopping the tile floor of the lobby under mistrustful glances that remind him that his checkered past will never be mopped clean. One for everyone that's ever worked and still lived under the poverty line. One for everyone that's ever worked 2 jobs and couldn't make it. One for those with 3 jobs and no time to light their own. One for anyone that's ever took their last drink outside that 2 a.m. Denny's, no matter how many last drinks more are left to come. One for absolution for us at 2 a.m. when Saint someone from somewhere pretends to not know our names.
How you doing? I see somebody moving. It's fuzzy. I'll feel it in my core. It is no one's fault. We collided in a no-fault state, and now I'm sliding into old fault lines of bad habits as the contents of this continent are shifting to contentment. Raising a ring of fire ready to erupt under the mantle of the studio apartment that holds my brain, keeping me from pain, trying to contain the contentment of commitment. Cracking in craters only seen from a distance. My brain is on fire, trying to douse the doubt of resentment. Magma molten flows down a path of least resistance, and I don't know why I'm resisting and shifting. The crashing and burning, the quaking and shaking, only caused by the snuffing out of a twin flame that changed colors when the mood shifted from desire to anguish, from violet to ash. I don't think losing something so short would cause this refrain, but there's nothing to blame. It's no one's fault. We were two crash test dummies on a drive in a no-fault state, trying desperately to start from clean slates. But the records are too long. Too many collisions happened in the wrong place. I thought this was new, but it was just a cut and paste of the same old. We said the meal was good, but we were just pushing food around on our plates, hoping we wouldn't see what got scraped. But you can't cover up the stench of a bad taste. The way blood feels filling your mouth when you gnaw your tongue after sticking it in your cheek too many times. Chewing up each bite 22 to 26 times because you don't want the meal to end, but you have nothing left to say. Jaw locked so tight, a shift in my teeth could make the earthquake. There is no stopping this. My plates are grinding, tectonic shifting, for a change under the surface, volcanic lifting, an earth-shattering act to find my core purpose. When the damage is done and the lava hardens, I have no choice but to tend to this new land and grow.
So when was the last time you read poetry in a cave?
Oh, about 40,000 BCE.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing, and getting back to our roots.
It's something, I can feel the ages turning.
Mm.
You guys have to meet up in caves to have poetry readings. We have our sympathies. But this is cool, man. The promise of lightning is that all poets die empty and that their voices will become heroes in hell. Victor Smith. It's all fading now, and you're the last man standing, a hazing of youth or fate, I don't quite know yet. But every fallen soul is an earthquake on this battlefield that shakes me to my core. And on the sleepless nights, where the dreamers lay dreamless, cradled by bleeding backdrops, where light dares not touch, where cries can't be heard, and sorrow deafens even those faithful. All that's left is knowing. What's left is the experience. That all my heroes are ghosts, cloaked by the veils they once wore. I've outlived them, but not their teachings. If my words are to become heroes in hell, then let me bear something greater than death itself and carry your torch beyond that.
I know I've dreamed you thin and alive.
Alex tells Damien to jump, and he says, how high? Wait, hold on. No, fuck. You dickhead. Oh, I'm not going to be involved in that. It's too beautiful to watch. Right? I feel like you could put this on PBS. Oh.
PBS would
It makes for a better story.
Oh.
You know, you don't expect the caveman to evolve directly up. You know, there'd be some peaks and valleys.
Yeah, there's some hiccups along the way.
Yeah. Mark,
Yeah.
show me some water.
Water, you need some water. All right, hold on.
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I call this story The Tale of Room 502. In 2011, I used to work at the infamous Waverly Hills Sanatorium as an actor. It used to be a tuberculosis hospital in 1923. And in room 502, a nurse hung herself. And also, at another point in time, a nurse gave birth to a baby, and they found the fetus in the third floor water depository tank. They used to keep the mentally ill on the 5th floor. It was a rooftop solarium, and it had a swing set. And on some nights, you could hear it swing, and nothing would be around. But they used to bring the children out on the roof to play of the solarium to get in sun, because that's what they believed helped alleviate tuberculosis. My first encounter with a ghost was one that I would say is strange and uncertain. As a nihilist who believes in nothing and rationalizes the pointlessness around, I found ghosts to be moot at that point. Great in theory, but still fairy tales, until one night this happened. I was on a hunt in September, and a crowd of 50 people were coming up a row, and my job was to be behind a door, and it opens, and I had a mic and a respirator, and I was just supposed to growl, just growl. Well, that door opens, and 50 people come up. There's a solid shadow figure sitting in a pew to the left, and the 50 people see this thing too. And as it comes up, it walks to me, and then dissipates in what looks like dust. And I, at first, didn't know what to think, but as we had witnesses around going like, dude, was that part of the haunted house? And it was.
Hey, this is Tyler Frederick. I'm part of the Natural Poet Society, where we do cave poetry. Sitting here in a rock shelter out in Brown County, Indiana. So cave poetry was an idea that kind of came into being at Insomniac-a-thon last year. Talking to Frog Corpse, Mark Lippman, P.W. Covington, about how I had performed a poem in a cave just for a video that I made online. And the interest that garnered really intrigued me, because it seemed like a lot of poets were really thinking it was a cool idea to go underground and do some poetry. So that's what we started doing about the past year or so. And it's been a really phenomenal thing that's happened. And it's incredible how many different poets are interested in the idea of coming underground and reading their poetry. It's such an intimate setting that you really can't get anywhere else. And it brings together community in a different way than I've ever experienced. It was such a pleasure to have Mark Lippman come with his tour and the Jersey Boys, and it was a great experience out at Spring Mill. And I'd love to have them all back sometime, hopefully at a different cave. My goal is to be able to take this as far as I can take it. There's caves all over the world, and I'd love to read in every single one of them, which is impossible because there's so damn many of them, but it's just a world of possibilities out there.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this special edition of Endless Horizons. And make sure to tune in next time as we head up to the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois to read with the poet Wesley Hine at the Gallery Cabaret and to meet up with our good friends at the League of Revolutionaries for a New America and so much more. It's something you won't want to miss. Until then, remember to follow your dreams and keep your eye on the horizon.
Breaking news, everything is bad. It's just as terrible as you imagined, and probably worse. With more, we go to Tom Lee Cruz. Tom Lee.
We're all in danger, Dan Lee.
Jesus Christ, what can we do?
Absolutely nothing.
It was good knowing you, Tom Lee.
I can't say the same.
That was unnecessary. We're just now getting in reports that all the children have exploded. They will be missed. Let's check in with Olivia Lee Rodrigo. Olivia Lee, where are you?
That's none of your business. Do you hear that? Cut the music. Do you hear that?
What do you hear?
That's the sound of us slowly dying. Can you hear it?
I can hear it. It's louder in my left ear.
Olivia Lee Rodrigo reporting
I
from
actually
where
have some
I
more
am.
questions for you. Okay, we're going to go to Kevin Lee Costner, who has more with politics.
No, I don't.
Let's send it over to our senior correspondent, Nick Lee Minaj.
Look at this chart. Let's bring it up.
What am I looking at here?
I don't know, but it doesn't look good.
That looks bad.
Yeah, it's probably bad.
Let's go to our eye in the sky, Timothy Chalamet. Timothy.
Man, I am so high up right now.
You are in a helicopter.
I didn't know that when I got in. I thought it was a weird car.
What do you see up there?
Everything. It's too much. We were never supposed to see this. I need to go back down.
You stay right there. We're going to go to commercial.
For a second, let's be honest, nothing will clean your filthy conscience.
Rich again, rich again, rich again, rich again, rich again, rich again, rich again.